Hey, Gene Galin here with the Chatham Journal. I'm with Chuck Coates, and we're at the ACC Wrestling Tournament. And when the finals are coming up at 7, I saw Chuck up in the crowd, and I said, look, I need to talk to this man, because you're like a legend, aren't you?
Well, I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You wrestled here for how many years?
Well, I was in state in 1985-86. We had a actual club league, the intramurals.
Right.
I did that. I actually wrestled for the university, but that's where I started my career. And from there, go figure, I went into professional wrestling. I got trained in 1987 by Nelson Royal, went down there, learned all that stuff, and the transition from this to the entertainment aspect. And, we did that. I had a group of guys that went up and wrestled WWF, WCW. I've been in the ring with many, many great Hall of Famers: Andre the Giant, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Sting, Lex Luger, Ricky Steamboat. The big deal is my shoulders were like that. So I didn't win any of them, but I got in the ring with them and gave it all I had, and it was fun. 20-year career.
Wait a minute, now that career hasn't ended. I think I saw a picture of you on some ropes like last weekend or something.
It started out as a fundraiser. Will you do it again? I'm 55 years old. I said, no, I'm not going to do it again. And it was like, come on, man, and you ain't going to pull my leg too hard.
Now, you were up on like the second rope, weren't you?
Yeah.
Now, is that safe for you to be doing at 55?
Probably not. Especially when I go home and talk to the wife, she's not all about it. But anyway, I went through, in 2006, my career came to an end. I had a bout with cancer, lymphoma, a blood cancer, and then in 2012, again, round 2. And 2016, 3-time cancer survivor. You're looking at him, and it's not me, it's all the Lord. He decided to keep me around longer. I've been able to be a part of this, encourage people to love the sport of wrestling. I'm at just about every NC State event. I was in school here, lifelong fan. Dad was in the Wolfpack Club. Grew up red and white. So on into that, I was able to take in some children, foster and raise them. And so I've had a lot of cancer slowed me down, and I got real life hit. That cancer, that word you hear, real life hit. So I've taken it upon myself to slow down, take advantage of life, enjoy every day. And lo and behold, here I am, 7 years in remission this last time, and I took a job recently last year at the Durham Rescue Mission, where I'm able to give back in a different way. We're a homeless shelter in Durham. We got a women's campus, men's campus, and I had an opportunity to take a job there and help those men and women, be an encourager, go out and try to keep the support coming in financially, because we are a nonprofit. But you know what? It's refreshing every day to see someone's life changed in a good way, spiritually, physically, and seeing them defeat the enemy, defeat that demon of drug addiction or whatever it might be, domestic abuse. But that's refreshing to me. And at 55, like I said, I'm able to do that and see firsthand lives being changed. So through the rescue mission, we're able to do that. I love it. My heart's in it. It's not a job when your heart's in it. So I don't go to work, I go to serve.
Now you're preaching too, aren't you?
I do. I share my testimony, and I preach a little bit. Not a pastor, just go around to different areas, and I'm able to share my wrestling story, which leads into the cancer, which leads into what I'm doing today. So I've got a crazy life I've lived, but I'm able to share it now, looking back in the rear view. I'm on the right side of the dirt, they say, still living, still loving, and just trying to give back and do what I can to make a difference.
Well, what kicked you into being strong in your belief? Because I think there's a lot of people out there that are wondering, first of all, is there a God? And then what are the benefits of believing in God and Jesus? But you're preaching it, you're living it as well, like you said, with the Durham mission.
Yep. I just started with my grandmother back when I was little. We went to church, there was no questions asked. So I got my first taste of what church and what Jesus was about way back when I was a youngster. And then I carried on in my teenage years and started my walk with Christ. I was 19 years old, and then I got into wrestling and kind of got my eyes off of him and more on me. And the cancer hit, and boom, I knew where to turn to for my help. And so from then on, I've been wide open, nothing but going forward for the Lord, and just whatever I can do to help people and just make a difference, especially today.
Well, let me ask you this question, because there are going to be some people who are going to say, Chuck, you had cancer 3 times. Why you still believe in Jesus?
It's all about the faith. We walk by faith, not by sight. And I believe, in my personal experience, I've seen a miracle, I felt a miracle, and 3-time cancer survivors are hard to come by. And it's no coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence. I believe just his blessings and grace that kept me here to be able to keep on keeping on. The girls I took in, they need a dad. They don't have a dad. So, and able to, and the fostering, the things we try to do to help others. And then with the Durham Rescue Mission, I foster every day because I've got 300 men and 130 women approximately that need help and need encouraging. So that was the reason. I just knew that it was all him, not me. I'm just a vessel. I'm just a tool. Be in the hands and feet of Jesus is what I want to do, and that's what I strive to do. And with the wrestling, it's just something I really love and enjoy, and it's just part of encouraging. My go-to scripture is Ephesians 6:12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. And that's the real fight's against the devil. The real fight's against the powers of darkness of the world. And it's not about the physical battle, which is a great sport of wrestling. It's about the spiritual battle. And as long as I'm still breathing, I'm going to keep on serving, keep on giving, and keep on trying to make a difference.
Well, you mentioned your grandma was the one that got you believing in church and going to church. What got you excited about wrestling? Was it your grandma too?
My dad.
Oh, your dad.
Yeah, back in the days when we spanked children when they didn't do right, Dad said, look, if you don't get the grades, you're not going to watch TV. You're not going to watch wrestling with me. I'd rather have spankings. My dad was a big wrestling fan. First time I ever saw it.
Who was his favorite wrestler?
He liked Wahoo McDaniel.
Okay.
And Blackjack Mulligan and Ric Flair. He liked the bad guys. But it was an opportunity to get hooked on it. I liked it. I loved it, and I got into it. And I came to state for 2 years and decided, looking back, maybe I should have finished school, but 19 years old, you think you know everything. So I quit here and went on to wrestling school. And then from then on, it just took off.
Your most memorable college wrestling experience?
Tab Thacker.
Why?
420-pound heavyweight.
Oh.
He's the reason they have a rule now. You can't weigh over 285 in college wrestling.
How much did you weigh up going up against him?
In the pro wrestling, I was about 265.
All right, but in college?
Oh, in college, about 210. I wasn't real big, but I wasn't small. And so, but my biggest memory at this university was Tab. He's the reason they have a weight rule now in the heavyweights.
Wait a minute, you were 210.
Yeah.
And you were going up against a guy 420?
I didn't wrestle him. He was just here at the school.
Oh.
I wrestled. My biggest memory here, as far as me wrestling, was probably, I don't know, it was about 15 or 16 of us, and it's just all kind of thinking back. There's no real standout experience. Me and it was intramural, and we just were able to just do it and love it and get better and try to keep on doing it. And it just became, to me, the next step was pro wrestling, and that's when I chose to do that.
Best pro wrestling memory or experience?
Experience, stepping in the ring with Andre the Giant. 1989, Toledo, Ohio. I wrestled a tag match, Haku and Andre against me and Paul Roma. And it lasted about 3 minutes, 7'4", 500 pounds, so it was...
and you were still 210?
I was 240 then.
All right.
But
makes it more even. 240 against what?
240 against 520.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you had a really good chance of winning that one.
One thing I'll never call wrestling is fake. It's nothing fake about picking a guy up and slamming him. Fixed, predetermined, choreographed, yeah, I can live with that. But there's nothing fake about it. It hurts too bad.
So wait a minute, are you saying you're also a good dancer?
You have to, a little bit. You got to be able to dance. Yeah, you get in the ring, you got to dance a little bit. If you don't, you're going to be falling all over the place.
Now look, I've seen pictures of you with some little guy. Like, I think you drag him around to just about every NC State event you've got, and he's always wearing red. What's the story on the little guy?
That's my first grandbaby, and the blessing is those girls we took in 10 years ago, the middle one is a mama now, which makes me a grandpa. You don't have to be blood to be family, so he's my little buddy, 2 years old. I bring him to these things. I'm hoping he'll get interested, so we'll see.
When you got done with wrestling, you said you had to retire. What did you do after that? I mean, there was a gap between that and what you're doing now.
I worked for a printing company.
Oh, okay.
Yep, printing press. I did that for 15 years in between, and then when the cancer hit, I had to, with the short-term disability, long-term disability, I was out of work too much to keep my job, so I had to find something. That's when the mission came calling. So
let's just get specific about today.
Yeah.
It's the ACC Wrestling Championship. I actually love covering it here in Reynolds. It's a great arena. But what, State's got how many in the championship coming up in about 15 minutes?
8 out of 10. Right now we're up, I think, 15 points over Virginia Tech, which is the second closest to the pack. And so if we can take care of business, And I think out of 8, if we can win half of those, I think we got it locked up.
What makes the pack so good this year?
Coach Papalizio and his staff. I mean, when I came here, we were 200 people if we were lucky.
Right.
And now we're averaging 1,700 a duel. And as you can see tonight, this place is almost full. It exceeds 5,000 people. So, I mean, wrestling's on the rise in the South. I've even seen a few Penn State and Iowa shirts. That's when wrestling's huge.
They're just down here for the warm weather.
Yeah.
It's snowing up there this weekend.
Once I tell people too, using Twitter or whatever, just give it a chance. If you don't know anything about it, just take time and learn it. It is the most exciting sport. And the athletes, I ain't got to tell you, busted nose, hey, put something in, put galls in there, and they're gonna get back out. There's no DL, there's no injury reserve. There's you either finish or you don't. Unless these guys sprain or break something, they're not going to quit. I've seen 2 injuries today, and both times they finished the match. It's a different mentality.
So it's not like the soccer players who just fall down when the ball hits them.
No, it's a different mentality. I can't explain unless you've ever done it.
All right, if you've never watched wrestling and you show up today and you're watching the championships, what kind of things should you be as a first-time viewer be looking for when you're seeing the 2 guys going at it?
When they're squaring off, you want an object of wrestler A or wrestler B is to get the other guy on his back, get control, take him down, and you'll hear the home crowd go 2. That's 2 points. It's a takedown. That's a start. From there, it gets a little more technical. You may need to sit with someone or get on the internet and see the rules once you get to that point. I've actually had folks sit with me, and I'll try to explain it. Wrestling is such a fast-paced sport. It's hard to do that and stay focused on what you're doing. But if I can do anything to help or teach anybody, I try to do that because the 2-point takedown is the most common move. You get the guy's leg, take him down, 2 points, and then from there you can get bonus points, you can get riding time, you can get major decisions, take falls, and you can get a pin. So, that's the ultimate prize is the pin. But at this level, there's a lot of state champions in high school out there, but only one could start.
Right.
So that's the thing about it.
Anything out there you see that kind of surprised you, or you saw some guy do something that you went, ooh?
Yeah, a couple of they're called mat returns. You staying on top, you're trying to keep control, picking the guy up, it just takes pure strength, taking him down, landing on him. In folk style wrestling, which this is, you have to protect him. You can't just throw him like freestyle.
Right.
So it's a technique to it, and there are penalties if you do get a little bit. It just depends on the referee's call, but you have to take care of your opponent when you're throwing. But it's pretty neat, and sometimes it looks dangerous, but the referees do a great job of keeping it safe.
Well, it seems you have gotten your stuff together. You got your wrestling, you got your grandson, have him coming out here wearing red.
Yeah.
You got the cancer beat 3 times, and you're helping out with your belief system.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, let's finish up with this. What's the best story that you had because of your belief and your interaction at the Durham Rescue Mission that someone's come around and you've been able to help them out?
The 6 months I've been there, I've seen a few people that really want to try and want to believe. Like I said, it's your choice as a person. We either believe or we don't. It's about faith. It's not if Jesus walked through this door right now, you say, oh, there he is. It is real. But what kind of faith does that take? And that's part of the Bible and tells you all about it. But my most rewarding experience is be around the men who are serious about knowing they've had bad situations in their past, and they've been literally on the streets, literally homeless. Seeing them come through our program, which is a Victory program, and graduate, that's been an honor. And I've been able to witness 13 people so far get through the 1-year program, graduate, and now they've got jobs. The Rescue Mission will also give you scholarships to go to Durham Tech. They'll give you opportunities to work for other people. We've got connections all over. So we don't just say, hey, good luck, we're glad you made it. They still watch over you and you can stay as long as you need to stay. They don't just say you got to leave because if it's fitting and if it works out for you, you can work your job and still live there. They don't say no to anybody. And if you come in and you're just anti-religious, they don't turn nobody away.
Right.
I mean, you have to really kick yourself out. So that's the thing about it is. The rewarding part is, in life, a lot of times, well, you don't believe the way I believe. You don't look the way I look, and you got to go. No, mission's not about that. We've got people from Africa, China. We've got people from Durham, obviously. We've got people from Cuba. I mean, it's becoming a worldwide thing. You come to North Carolina or you come to the United States, people come from western part, southern part. We just offer more than a lot of missions do because there's missions all over the country.
Right.
The Durham Rescue Mission is a special place, and people tell you that they're part of it.
Well, so, I kind of told the fib. I said that was going to be my last question. But there's also pictures of you and this pretty young lady.
Yeah.
How'd you luck out on that?
Man, you tell me, Gene. You tell me. I met her, a mutual friend, at a pro wrestling match in 2004. She didn't like wrestling. She didn't care about pro wrestling, but it was a mutual friend who was a Christian, and she said, "I want you to meet my friend Cynthia. She's single, and you're this." So, number one, she loved the Lord. Number two, she was already a Pac fan. So, it was like a sign from the Lord. I mean, how could I give up? Quit on that? So, she's been through every step. The 3 bouts of cancer, the fostering, and it's just been a blessing. And I told her just the other day, I said, if you'd known what you were getting into in 2004, would you have still done it? She said, absolutely. So I must be doing something right.
No, man, I was going to say, let me shake your hand because you are one lucky man. Hey, folks, watching this, I hope you get some of the spirit of this man. He's a Pac fan. He's going to turn his grandson into a Pac man.
I do my best.
And he's all set. I'm going to let him go because they're about ready. They're going to have pyrotechnics. You're not allowed to smoke here, but they're going to be blowing up pyrotechnics.
Yeah.
All right, Chuck, thank you very much. Enjoy the matches.
Thank you.